Okay, now the reason why you have this political con game, you have the kings and queens, the monarchs of the world have always been in power because they are masterminds in taking advantage of mass populations versus your kingdom having 2 million people and then this kingdom having 20 million people. It's all based on you being able to control them. Now say you have 300 people. Everybody's is in the kings and queens chambers or in their cabinets. The king he have to be able to have some type of way to control 20 million people. Because they can just storm his council and kill everybody in there. It's 300 people that's close to him. Because the king may, have 20 million people, at his, control. But he really don't have 20 million people at his control. Because when you got 20 million people close to you, that's no such thing, because anybody at any time can turn on you for their own personal gain or at the behest of another kingdom. They can betray you. So you're going to make your cabinet small, your chambers going to be small, your security, your bodyguards, and your wives, and so on and so forth. So you got to keep the cabinet small. So it's only actually 300 people controlling 20 million people. That's how it's been in ancient time. How do you control 20 million people? If you upset them within 1 hour, they can come in and kill everybody in, the council. This happened hundreds of times during powers in rulership. Once you go and study the Roman Empire, man, they was murdering the kings and queens of Rome easily. Give them bloodbaths. Hey, the king says something, or Caesar or Augustus says, or Octavian says something we don't like. They'll rush in and go in and just wipe them out, kill the king and everybody that they want to kill that's with the king in 1 hour. And they'll put another one on the throne. This happened in Egypt with King Tut, with Akhenaten when he was on the throne back in 1800 BC. Akhenaten want to shut down all the temples and stop us from being able to worship polytheism, more than one God. He gonna make us only worship Aten, which is one God. I'll kill him and everybody with him. This is why King Tut was dead at 14, because it was a new power that came on, or a new regime that came over and wiped them out, which is the Ramesses dynasties. Came in and wiped them out and said, hey, we're gonna put him on the throne. Kill him, get him off the people coming in saying, kill him, get him off the throne, put this man on. We like him more. So the way they able to run this con game, because it's a secret through the high ups and the royals, who not that smart, but they are smart enough to know that 70 to 80% of the world population of people are dumb and dangerously naive. Meaning you can tell them anything. And that's why it's called witchcraft or sorcery. Which witchcraft and sorcery is you using words to cast spells. Now, what do you do with words? When you take syllables and letters and put them together, you spell words. So it's easy to understand that you use words to put spells on people. The word grammar is the same exact word as witchcraft and sorcery. So when they say you're not speaking correct English, you need to use proper grammar. That means to be able to put spells on people through the ability to tell perfect lies. This is what all politicians is about. If you look up the word grammar and the definition to it, and then you go to the etymology, just Google the etymology of the word grammar, Grammar. When your teacher say you're not using proper grammar, the word grammar means witchcraft and sorcery. It's right there. Google the word. So that's why politicians never ever have to come out and do anything that they say that they're going to do to get in office, because they're using proper grammar, which is proper witchcraft and sorcery, which is perfect lies being told to the people. And they have mastered and studied this art, and they pass it down from childhood to childhood. All this come from the Asiatic black kings and queens and the Afro black kings and queens, all the way from Egypt, all the way from our dynasties in Israel, and so on and so forth in India, the Kushite dynasty. So what you have going on is 70% of the people, they don't want to read, they don't want to study, they don't even care about the truth. And the rich and royal wealthy people have gotten a bead on that. Man, just give them some food. You know, the food don't even have to be real. Just throw them some food out there. Give them a little money to, to play around with. Buy their little houses and go out there and fornicate. And we can control their lives. That's why people are supposed to be serving God, putting their trust in God. But they hate God because God requires us a responsibility. You got responsibility that you got to adhere to with God. But under man's rulership, under man's control, man allow you to have that freedom to spiritually do nothing. You don't have no spiritual responsibility. That's why the Christian religion tells you to go and do as thy will. Go and sin, do whatever you want to do. But Jesus forgive you. Come back every Sunday and Jesus will forgive you. You don't have to have no spiritual responsibility or no moral obligation to you doing what's right. People can go out and do what's wrong over and over and over and over and over again. But with God, no. You don't get to do wrong, have a license to do wrong. You don't have a license to sin. No, if you do wrong, you get punished. Or if you repent, you'll have mercy. But people want to do wrong and get benefit from doing wrong. But when they get caught, that's when they want to pretend like they won't, to repent. Or that's when they want to act like they ready to do right. Only when they get caught. And when the hand of law and judgment is lifted off them, they right back doing the same evil and wickedness again. This is 70-80% of the people. And so the rich and elite have noticed this. This is our chance to take advantage of them. And they've been doing this all the way back from Egypt. Even the children of Israel, who were the righteous people of God, we seen that, you know what? We don't have to do what God say, because we can run the world on our own. And then they felt they wasn't obligated to do what God demanded and commanded them to do. So, as far as the world population, you have about, I say 60, 70, maybe 80%. I mean, they want to go out, they want to fornicate. People want to be, sodomites. Women want to go and be adulterous. But then when you have an outbreak of disease, when you have an outbreak of chaos and disasters and horrible economical calamities from this irresponsibility, spiritual obligation, that's when they want to run and reach out and cry out to God for help for a mess that they've made. That's why mankind is always called the children of God. Why? Because children are not all the way fully prosecuted and punished for their sins. They're given room to make mistakes, unlike adults. So like I say, 60, 70, maybe 80% of the people, they really are manipulated by the ruling elite. But if you don't give the ruling elite too much power, if you rule in and be elitist over your own actions and judgment, it won't be no need for no government. It won't be no need for Democrat and Republican. It won't be no need for a king and a queen. Because everyone will be individually representing themselves and standing on what's right and standing on what's law. This is the type of society and this is the type of environment that's called heaven, where each person is individually guarding their own actions and making sure that each household is going in the right direction without outside intervenings. See, this is what these type of communities was going on in Egypt, was going on in the land of Canaan, the ancient Canaanites who were righteous, the ancient Egyptians who were righteous before these two civilizations began to fall, the ancient Israelites who were righteous before they began to fall. And the fall is them saying, wow, we've been doing right for all this time, but it's boring. Let's go and have fun through doing wickedness. And at the same time, they would run away from peace, run away from tranquility. Because why? They don't want God to see them doing wrong. So they would go and create their own cities, their own governments, or they would run back into Egypt if you talking about Israelite time, or they would run back into certain lands or run back into areas like Sodom and Gomorrah, where they can achieve their evil wickedness. They wouldn't do it in a holy land in the sight of the Creator. That's why God himself kicked us out of the holy land, which is Eden, aka known as Africa and Asia. You got East Eden, which is Asia, West Eden, which is Africa. But both, that whole continent is Eden, where four rivers compass in the book of Genesis, where the four rivers compass, which is two rivers, the Gihon, the Pishon, and then you have the White Nile and the Blue Nile in Africa. Then you have the other two rivers by Euphrates and the Tigris, and the Gihon and the Pishon, which is the White Nile, the Blue Nile, the Tigris and Euphrates. Those four rivers compass the whole land of Eden, which is Africa, which is West Eden, which is Asia, which is East India, which is East Eden, which is those landmass were accompanied by jet black people. People get their timelines mixed up. Now, far as Israelites being on the planet right now today, the Most High told Abraham, made a promise that your seed would even though they're small, they would go into a nation. They would serve that nation for 400 years and be persecuted by that nation. But I will punish that nation and will bring them out with great substance. At that time, the Most High was talking about Egypt. And they would number far above the stars in the sky. It's billions of stars in the sky. Billions of them. You just need microscopes to see some of them. But it's billions of stars in the sky. Stars are born every day. So, for that prophecy to get a bead and understanding on that is, today time, us going into slavery again will increase our numbers again. And the slavery that we went into this time, or the captivity that we went into this time, would be in the Americas or the land of Nod. So now I would say, far as the blacks is in America, it's 30 to 40 million of us here. And the reason why I say 30 to 40 million of us here, because a lot of people that's black don't identify, a lot of people that's black Israelites don't identify themselves as black. They identify themselves as Mexicans, or they identify themselves as Caucasoid or Caucasian. That's a mixed breed. But there really ain't no such thing as mixed breed, because you are what you are the seed of your father. So if your father is a Caucasian, then you are Caucasian. If your mother, if your father is a black Israelite, then you an Israelite. It don't matter the phenotypical or your skin tone. That doesn't matter. Because your mother's DNA only goes back probably 10 generations. But your father's DNA goes back millions of years. Anywhere from 250,000 to 2 to 3 million years. That's how far your father DNA inside of every person goes back. Don't believe it? Google it. That's why it's more suitable to go through, for nations to trace, depending if you're on a matriarch or a patriarch. Patriarch they trace their lineage through men. That's why the king will always be the one that runs the government or on the throne. A matriarch or a lunar government will go through the women. So each nation, each kingdom is different on how they trace their lineage. But the house of God is a patriarch. They trace their lineage through men. That's why God says in the Bible that my house or my flock is of men, or run by men, or controlled by men. In the book of Isaiah chapter 3, as a curse and punishment on the children of Israel, he said that as for my people, women rule over them. Children are their oppressors. Isaiah chapter 3. Children, this is a curse. This is not right. This is a curse. So that's why it's saying this. As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. Meaning these bad children is out here gang banging, dope slanging, breaking in people's cars, breaking in people's homes, killing going on. It's being done by teenagers, people that's under the age of 25. Those are considered children. Because the brain has not properly allowed itself to fully mature or maturate under 25. That's why most insurance companies give higher premium for people that's under their coverage under 25 because of this fact. So that's why God says in the book of Isaiah, as a curse to my people, the children of Israel, children are their oppressors. That's why in the inner city, you have so much killing and murder and robbing and so much chaos and evil going on. And it's done by the youth, by the younger generation. Go in Chicago, go in Detroit, go in California, Los Angeles, New York. The ones who doing this are not the 50 and 60-year-olds. That's out here doing the robbing, the raping, the killing, the gangbanging, the dope slanging. No, it is the teenagers and the young men. So children are their oppressors, and what? Women rule over them. That's why when you go into the households in America, where the worst communities and in the most ghettoist places or ratchet places, in those communities, each household is ran by women, and men do not live in those households that's governing those children. But when you go on a better side of town, or a much more manicured or much more economical established side of town, there are men in each household with the women working together, raising productive children to be positive citizens. But like I said, when you go back on the other side of town, in the ghetto, or on the rough or criminal, high criminal element part of town, it's always going to be ran by single mothers, single parents. That's why it says in the scripture, Isaiah chapter 3, women rule over them. So women, that lets you know you're not supposed to be ruling over the families. Only men can raise children. It's women's responsibility to assist the men, to be the helpmeet. Adam had Eve created for him by God to be what? A helpmeet. She would meet the need of helping the man. And that's why God told Eve, when she got the big head, thought she can rule over Adam and tell him what to do. God came in Genesis chapter 3, he told her, as for you, Eve, you will have children in childbirth. You will have pain in childbirth and a monthly menstrual, to remind you that you are supposed to listen to your husband and your desire shall be to him. So whatever he wants you to be or whatever he needs you to be, you are supposed to be to him. This is the order that I have designed. So any woman thinking she can tell a man what to do, God ain't dealing with you. And you got a place sitting waiting for you in hell. You got a seat waiting for you in hell. If you think you can tell a man, a true man of God, a righteous man, when you get with him, you're supposed to control him and tell him what to do. No, you have been deceived by the serpent, Shaitan or Satan. No woman has no right to be trying to tell a man what to do. And no woman has no business trying to raise children on her own. This is the act of the serpent. The serpent is who? The United States government. The United Snakes government. These are snakes, serpents, telling you the same trick that was played on Eve, that they using that same trick from millions of years ago, still using the same trick on you. Giving you food stamps, giving you Section 8. Why? If you divorce your man or kick the man out the house, we will pay you to do those things. The word woman only means a lady who has been married. The word lady means a female, a human female who is engaged to be married. Anything outside of that, that's where you get the word whore or harlot from. That's harlotry. Harlotry is something engaged by witches and sorcerers and people that do necromancy or evil things or living a alternative lifestyle. That alternative lifestyle is a choice to do the opposite of what God said do, which is what right. So do not let the United States or United Snakes beguile you, trick you, like in Genesis chapter 1, 2, 3, and 4, when Eve was beguiled and tricked by the serpent. Oh, Adam don't tell you what to do. You tell him what to do. You don't have to listen to Adam. And he was whispering in her ear. The whisperer was sneaking and telling her, oh, man, you don't have to listen. Man, you can stand up. You should have women's rights. The only rights you should have is to do what is right. That's what you have the right to do. That's what rights really, truly, actually mean. To do what's right. You don't have a right to do what's wrong. Listen at that. You do not have the right to do what is wrong or unlawful against God. The word right means to do what is righteous. What is fact and exact. What is knowledgeable, wisdom, and understanding. You don't have the right to be dumb, evil, and wicked, and a sodomite or a harlot. Because there's no justice for you when you end up dead in a trash can or raped and mutilated in the back of an alley, and then someone coming to avenge this death. No, you was in the wrong, thinking you had a right or rights to do what's wrong. This is incorrect teaching. This is incorrect institutional learning of the mind by the government, done purposely to play the same wicked tricks on you that's been played on the minds of the mass populace for millions of years. And this how the wicked ruling elite are able to stay enlightened. They're staying enlightened because they have their homes intact. The rich ruling elite always know what's right, but they hide the knowledge inside the Masonic Lodge so you can continue to figure out what's going on in the dark. They hide the light inside of the Masonic Lodge so you can continue to fall in holes and be destroyed while you're fumbling your way around in the dark. Hosea chapter 4. You are destroyed for lack of knowledge. We are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Knowledge is what? Light. Light of the universe. Wisdom. Light of the universe. But without that light, you will continue to grope blindly in the noonday. Meaning it's clear day outside. Meaning the truth is permeating itself and penetrating itself in your face daily, and you still can't see it. You're still walking around blind. So, how many Israelites is on the planet? I would say, because 7 is a perfect number, 6 is the beautiful number. You have about 1 billion Israelites on the planet, and we are of different races or nationalities. We've been scattered through all the 4 corners of the earth. So you got Israelites that look like they're Caucasoids. Israelites who look white and pale skinned all through Europe. Because we had forefathers that ruled in Europe, and they had babies by the fair-skinned Caucasoid women. You had our forefathers that was king in China, Korea. We all through Asia, because Asia is our homeland. That's the homeland of Abraham. Kung Fu, martial arts come from us. Now, we all through Africa. So you have Israelites from pale white Caucasoid phenotype or skin tone all the way to jet black dark skin tone. So you got Israelites. We are in every race because we were scattered throughout the 4 corners of the earth. So we are in every civilization on the planet. But we at the bottom of these civilizations. So I would say we have about 1 to 2 billion of us on the planet. We think that we are outnumbered, but at the snap of a finger, at the drop of a dime, at the flip of a switch, we would take back over the planet once we realize our numbers and how much power we truly have. See, in America, we think that we are segregated as one unit or as one race, because you have Haitians, you got Jamaicans, you got blacks, Israelites from down south, you got the ones from West Coast, you got ones from the East Coast and in the Midwest, but we're not together as one unit, and that voids us from being able to see our numbers. So we can shut this government down in one day just off our numbers. We in Mexico, we in South America, we in Central America as one unified Israelite family of the house of Jacob, Abraham, and Isaac. But we grope in the noonday, meaning it's clear sunlight outside, but we think it's dark. We walking around like it's dark. That would mean groping and feeling your way around like a blind person in noonday. Noonday meaning the highest point when the sun is shining, and you still think it's dark. Meaning you have no light, you have no knowledge, when knowledge is personating and penetrating right in your face. So like I said, you have that 70% of people, and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he really hit the nail on the head when he says that we are 5%. I say now we less than 5% because we have got dumber and dumber and dumber since the time of Elijah Muhammad, since the time of Malcolm. We have become more penetrated with the hammer being hit in the head and falling more asleep and more unconscious by this government, by the lies that they hit us with. So we probably now, not 5%, we may be the last 2 or 3%. But he said 5% are the righteous, true leaders, kings and queens to run this planet. The 5% are being kept enslaved by 10% of the world's population, and they are ruling the planet and taking advantage and raping and robbing everybody and everything. And they control who? The other 85%ers. The 85%ers are who? The blind, deaf, and dumb. Those who love the devil because the devil gives them nothing, and they hate God because God have blessed you with everything. See, we hate people that bless us, but require responsibility from us to continue to receive these blessings. So we run off with the person that allows us to talk bad and backbite the one who loves us, the people who love us, our true Father who loves us. We run off with the people that betray, that allow us the provision to betray our own. We mad, we having a family dispute, the children want to go against the Heavenly Father. So we are being taken advantage of by the United States government who facilitate the environment for us to do what thy will and go against the Father. And they pay us off and they give us provisions. They give us rooms and areas where we can do wickedness and evil and upset and betray our Heavenly Divine Father. So we run along with the devil while we hate the true Heavenly Divine Father Creator who given and gave us everything. So you got the 85%ers who blind, deaf, and dumb. You got the 10% who are ruling the world and keeping them from seeing the true 5% who are the true righteous divine kings and leaders. But hey, MOG TV kicking in, dropping some more real knowledge and spit. And guess what? Like, comment, and subscribe. And continue to tune in to the platform, to hear, true knowledge, about religion, true knowledge about history, and true knowledge about the existence of the black man and woman and children who is the true face of God, which is the sun, moon, and stars of this universe. Peace and shalom.